Alright, we're here looking at our DN1PRO-A carrying case from Accessory House. There isn't any difference to the outside of this case compared to our DN1PRO case. It's the inside that actually has changed, but I'm going to go through what we have changed about the new model of this case on the outside first. So looking here, we have now a stitched water resistant zipper. We still have our 3 strong nylon loops. These 2 for the shoulder strap, the top one for the carabiner. And the biggest change we've made is actually on the outside liner, which is now what we call Grip Tech liner. It feels kind of like a basketball, so a lot more grip when it's wet or when it's cold or hot or whenever, compared to the carbon fiber which we used to use, which is quite slippery and glossy all around. So it's also a little bit thicker, slightly thicker, so it adds a little bit more robustness to the case, so a little more protection. We still have our 2 zipper tabs as before, and the actually the zipper itself has been changed so that it's a more smooth pull of the zipper compared to before. Not that the previous one was very hard or difficult to open, but we decided that because of that extra bit of water resistance on the zipper, it makes it a little bit harder to open sometimes, so we changed the zipper to make it nice and easy, like so. Alright, we're now looking at the inside of the DN1PRO-A carrying case, and this here is the inner mold of our new version of the DN1PRO case, and it has a slightly different inner mold compared to the DN1PRO-A. The main difference is that we're using protein leather on this version of the mold, and we've shaved down the sides on the DN1PRO-A inner mold. So the DN1PRO-A is slightly different. The below divider is slightly different compared to the original one, and the sides have been shaved down to allow for a little more room for certain headphones to fit in. We weren't able to use protein leather on the DN1PRO-A because of the shape of the bottom divider. It just didn't stick well, so we've used a really high quality lycra, black lycra, and it's just, the quality is just as good as the protein leather, so it's not a big deal. Now, as I said before, we made this mold specifically for certain headphones, and those certain headphones are the Sony MDR-1A, 1A BT, 1A DAC, and the ZX770BN model headphones. They have slightly larger housing compared to other models of headphones made by Sony and some of the other headphone companies like Parrot, Zic, etc. So the housing I'm talking about, this is an MDR-1A, this is the housing. If you compare this housing here to the MDR-1R, which was the original Sony headphone that this one has now replaced, it's much smaller, and it would fit in the normal or the original model mold here. As you can see, when we put this in, it doesn't fit. The top, the housing sits on top of the divider, so it's not doing the job we want it to do. So by making this one, we've added a little bit of room on the sides. You can see there's a little bit of blue showing from the inner liner. That's because we cut the edges down. And now when we put in our MDR-1As, they fit in perfectly because of that extra room that from removing the sidewalls of the inner mold. Now besides that, we're still using the exact same high quality blue lycra on the inside of the case, top and bottom, and on the top we also have an extra ½ centimeter of memory foam, just in case the headphones move in the case, or it helps act as like a cushion to kind of not compress but hold them in place. And if they happen to be a little bit too big, rather than pushing into like the hard EVA of the outside of the case, you would just be pushing into memory foam, which isn't going to do anything, and after you take it out it'll just return to its normal shape after a couple seconds. Looking at our accessory pouch, this is made out of a high quality nylon. You can see that right here. We have 2 elastic bands on the front specifically because it holds cables. So if say you have a big cable that doesn't fit inside of this pouch, you just put it on the front and then stick it in, and then hopefully that will store it much better. Now looking at the inside, we have our accessories that are included. Comes with a high quality shoulder strap and 2 metal clips. We have the carabiner. We also have a blue microfiber cloth you can use for wiping down the headphones. And then that is the interior. So it can fit quite a bit of stuff, but obviously if you're going to store the shoulder strap in here along with the microfiber cloth and the carabiner, if you start adding in your headphone cables and whatnot, there isn't going to be enough room. So it has its limits, and obviously, you know, if you're not going to use the shoulder strap, then don't store it in there, just take it out and leave it somewhere else. The microfiber cloth you can easily fit in somewhere else in the case as well. It's not going to bounce around or hurt anything. But obviously the carabiner, if you don't attach it to the outside, you don't want to leave that bouncing around inside, because that will most likely scratch your headphones if it's free. And when fitting your headphones in the case, because we've made this accessory pouch out of nylon, because then it's more pliable and you can move it a bit. So if you get this thing really full, obviously it's going to get a little bit harder to maneuver, less pliable, I guess you could say. But depending on the headphones you have, you might have less room between the headband. So these headphones have a large space inside the headband. You can pull this thing in and out no problem. On say a Parrot Zic headphone, you have a little bit less space. So it's better to put the headphones in first, because if you put the bag or the pouch in first, you might end up having to fight to push the headphones in. If you put the headphones in first, then all you need to do is you can move this around as you need and place it in there. Much easier to do it that way. Besides that, if you have any questions relating to the product, feel free to contact us at accessoryhouse@btinternet.com.